Good morning and welcome to the Sidney by the Sea YouTube channel. We meet every Thursday morning at the Shoal Center for breakfast and have the privilege of being joined 3 times a month by very distinguished, interesting, exciting, sometimes provocative, and always worthwhile listening to and getting to know speakers. Today, we're joined on this broadcast by Tanelle Bolt, an interior designer, athletic trainer, the founder of an organization called RAD, Recreational Adaptive Technology. You'll have to edit that. Who has spoken to our club twice, actually. And the first time she came, she brought an amazing piece of equipment that had been designed to allow people with mobility issues to play golf.
Oh, fabulous.
And spoke to us in some detail of issues that face mobility challenged people.
Well, that's remarkable. I can't play golf without mobility issues.
Yes, yes.
This is
Now
remarkable.
you opened when you spoke the first and indeed the second time. You're an advocate. You opened our eyes at the first time you spoke. You were involved with your interior design work in designing living spaces that are truly adaptive. Thank you for joining us for this interview, and you should add a bit more texture to your background than I was able to.
Thanks for the invitation, John. And John, it's nice to meet you, John, too. You got JJ. We're going to call you
right?
JJ.
3 J's, actually. You have to change your name.
Yeah, my name is Tanelle Bolt. If you can't remember Tanelle, I'll go by T. And 11 years ago, almost 12 this year, I sustained a spinal cord injury in a recreation accident, suffering consequences for my actions. I hurt myself at 27 as a educated interior designer and tradesperson who was building barriers into everything as somebody who was not taught in school how to do that correctly. After my injury, I thought that design was done. Who can get onto a job site in a wheelchair? Who wants to clamber around construction and that mindset of everybody's able to do everything. And when you're on a job site with trades, that's what people think and that's what people believe and that is their experience. So initially, I was just trying to continue my lifestyle playing and being active outdoors, which is where I found my mental health and physical health and emotional health was benefited. And anytime I was stressed, I would either be in the gym or I'd be outside hiking, enjoying the beautiful trails on Vancouver Island as somebody who moved here from the prairies after graduating interior design school from Lethbridge College. I started RAD, Recreation Adapted Society, after writing my will with a lawyer after my injury, and I had an idea that I proposed to her. If you're too ably disabled, there's no access to the equipment that I need to go and play with my friends and family in the places and the spaces that I had become comfortable over my 27 years of ability. Everyone that was offering services on the island, in the interior, and into the prairies was offering service for me to come and participate with their group at a set time, at a set location, regardless of if I had ever been there before, with a team of volunteers whom I had never met. And that to me was very daunting. Disability was brand new. What do you mean I have to go hang out with a whole crew of people and all their disabilities that I don't know, I'm not comfortable with? I've hardly digested my own circumstance, let alone the dozen other people that are at this event, all in their own special circumstance. It was very overwhelming and something that I was not comfortable doing. I also saw this being 27 and hurting myself, which is basically rapid aging. So now I empathize with all of the aging population and the boomers as everybody gets older and they start to lose their ability to participate in the stereotypical fashion, let's say, of biking. Oh, I can't bike anymore. Well, why can't you bike anymore? Oh, because my balance. Oh, because I got a dead foot because I hurt myself. I fell on my hip. Oh, I can't is all you hear. And in my mind, I've already answered their question of, yes, you can. Bikes have 3 wheels. What do you mean a bike is 2 wheels? Bikes have 3 wheels. Bikes also have motors. Bikes have full electric assist now. All you have to do is sit on the seat and throttle. So you can bike. Yeah, you can bike. And what do you mean? Your grandkids now don't get the experience of biking with you because you see a bike as having 2 wheels without a motor.
Yeah. That's such an inspirational story for the peninsula, because there's a disproportionate amount of older people on the peninsula. And so I can see why you have been asked to talk to the Rotary and how inspiring that is. I'm just sitting here. I've got goosebumps talking to you. Okay. I am so excited about talking to you and hearing about these things. I want to ask you a question, like right at the core, because I'm really very fascinated with leadership and not political leadership. Well, I am, but political leadership, community leadership, human leadership. Like, what makes a person decide to do something on their own? Where does that set of networks come from inside you to go, I want to do this, without anyone telling you? I'm fascinated by that. Where did that come for you? At some point, it sounds to me like you didn't, that was something that you didn't have, and then it happened for you.
I had started my own interior design business prior to my injury. And because I didn't go to school on the island, I had to spend my time creating the network of people that would be able to facilitate me being a sole proprietor, independent designer. I had had a few interviews in town, and none of them were what I had wanted in a career like that. I wanted to be on the side of the architect, the builder, the contractor, the developer, and work as that liaison between them, being employed by them, and my checks would come from them, but being that liaison between me and their client who expects them to also be a designer and mitigate all of their wants and their needs and their desires.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to get paid by that person.
Yeah.
I want to get paid by this person, so that when the client doesn't pay, I'm not the one chasing after them for money.
Yes.
So
or decides they don't want to buy the house.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to buy the idea.
Or they have 7 bathrooms and the contractor doesn't care what your vanity looks like. They just want to know that they can build it. So that was my job, that intermediary person.
Yes.
At the time, I was also bartending. So I had a large network of people, and I had come out of my shell as being a very shy child but being behind the bar is a very good place to learn how to talk to everybody.
Yes, it is. It's a great place.
It's your job.
I love hanging out by the bar and talking to the bartenders. They all know how to speak and engage.
Lots of engagement, lots of experiences, like Jill of all trades, master of none, grew up, seasonal employment. And oh my gosh, if you know anything as somebody who looks like me, for those that cannot see me, I am a white woman with dirty blonde hair. It is just at like below my shoulders, and I am very classic European looking. That's easy to talk to. And they don't expect you to have a truck driving license. They don't expect you to know how to build a house. They don't expect you to be a mechanic. They don't expect any of the things that I was able to do. So that's always very intriguing for people. Now we shift into RAD and why why I went ahead to do this thing on my own. I had never been a CEO. I had never been on a board of directors before I started a company and founded a company like this. Sole proprietor, design, no big deal. You're the boss. It all comes in and out of the same account. You go to your accountant and like Bob's your uncle, you got yourself a business. Well, you run a charity. Now you got to have a board of directors. You have to be accountable. You have to follow not Robert's rules anymore. Nobody follows that, but like close enough. And you need to know all of these ins and outs to make this CRA approved every single year. I had no idea. If I knew what I knew now, then I probably wouldn't have started it because it's been like,
well, that's leadership. There's leadership. You know, this ability to jump into uncharted waters. That's leadership. There's an element. There are a lot of people who cannot do that. And there are few that can. And I am fascinated by that strength and that courage and that innovation that you show, Tanelle, like 1,000%. I'm fascinated by you. Now, how come I've never met you? You're in North Saanich.
I was in Langford for 4 years before this, and I was in the Kootenays before that. My injury happened when I was living downtown Victoria.
Okay.
And so I've popped around based on my income because you can't stay in Victoria if you're living on disability assistance. So I went back to a place where I could afford to live, which was a friend of mine's basement that they renovated into a suite for me.
Right on.
And then I came back to Langford once I found a roommate and I had a little bit of a sustainable income so that I could get out of the Kootenays and come back to a place where things are happening in order to make RAD gain the traction that we need in order to achieve the goals that I have in my mind. So adaptive rental equipment was something that people like to hear about, but nobody wanted to commit to because disability is seen as a liability. Mm-hmm. What do you mean you want to put a bunch of people on adaptive equipment and send them out into the wilderness by themselves? Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. I don't want to do that. Who's going to insure you? Well, my lawyer, who drew up the entire incorporated not-for-profit, pushed for my charity status, and I say my, and this is RAD. I'm referring to mine, RAD. Because of her help, I believed I could do it. If it wasn't for her help, I didn't have a board of directors that was more than just a signing authority for the first 5 years. Because she believed in me and her firm went through all that effort to prove that they believed in me, well, now I can't fail because me failing is going to let her down. And that's really like numero uno. Don't want to let her down.
A complex web of support, inspiration, energy, and drive.
Yeah.
Tanelle, could I ask you, with the way you have gone in very interesting directions in the world of mobility and accessibility, what are the main barriers now after doing this for some years? What are the main barriers you would highlight for us that require tipping over?
So I have RAD, and then John Trelevin, you were also mentioning that with my interior design and the building barrier-free universal design homes and rental units for people, I would have built a building already if I had the money. It would already be in existence. I would have bought the land. I've already paid the architects. I've paid the lawyer. We started the development company. It's money. With adaptive recreation, man, it's also money because we have had now 11 years of success. I have never been in arrears with the charity. And so based on our relationship with the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, that plus the municipal relationships that we have, it just, with the money, it's easy to provide the services for people because it's very expensive. Everything that we do always, if you go to the grocery store, it's 3 times as much as it was 5 years ago. If you go to get a vehicle, it's, now you got to buy an electric vehicle that costs 3 times as much as any other vehicle. And our costs have just gone up and up and up. Well, recreation and what I provide with RAD is seen as extra. You don't need to be outside recreating. We're going to give you your weight loss drug, your mental health drug, your emotional support chicken, and then we're going to keep you inside. And we're going to say, that's good. Don't you want an air bed so that when you lie there, you're not going to get a pressure sore? Like, well, that's not good. How about you give me the drugs? We're going to go take equipment. We're going to go outside. It doesn't matter, rain, snow, sun. I don't care. Just be outside. And then we're going to do a thing. And it's going to be in a group of people that is doing similar things. We'll have that network. We'll have that connection. We'll have those conversations. And then when you go home, then you decide if you need those drugs.
When you spoke to us the first time, one of the points that you made that stuck with me was, let us say, adaptive equipment, ingenious adaptive equipment, is widely available in terms of, yes, we have it, but the costs are astronomical and largely out of the range of the very people for whom this equipment has been designed. And I think that's kind of what led you to creating RAD.
Yeah, we don't need you as an individual to be a millionaire, be a mechanic, drive a larger vehicle and be able to pull a trailer and have an extra house to store this stuff in. These are all the things that somebody that wants to have an active, adaptive life needs. If you want to golf, the Paragolfer stand-up golf machine is the best one on the market. It facilitates and is the safest and most versatile unit.
Amazing.
$42,000. But if you want to golf and then go play tennis in that same day, your tennis chair is another $8,000. That's different than your own wheelchair, which is $1,000. Or if you're in a power chair, it can run upwards of $45,000 just to be mobile. And those power chairs are not designed to go outside in the rain. They're designed to stay inside where they like to keep you. If you want to be a cyclist, you can't have the same bike to ride on the road, to ride on the trails, to ride in the dirt and the mountains. Each of those bikes is different. We can't just have a gravel bike that does all the things. We need a road bike that's $7,000 and then a cross-country bike that's another $7,000. Oh, if you want to race, then that bike's $20,000. That doesn't even have a battery. And then if you want a battery and go in the mountains, that's 30 grand. That's just to be a cyclist.
Mm-hmm. Tanelle, I want to issue an invitation. As John knows, on Thursday at Rotary Club, we'll hear from Mark Hobbs. Mark Hobbs I met as a grade 12 student in Regina when I was working there. He took computer science at Dalhousie University.
Is he in Halifax or Nova Scotia or something?
He's in Halifax.
I've had a conversation with Mr. Mark Hobbs because of you.
Well, all right. Mark is going to speak to us from Los Angeles via Zoom on Thursday. And I hope you've been taking notes about the responses to your question on leadership, because I think Tanelle laid out several lines of reasoning or lines of thought that are quite universal.
Tanelle, we're looking here at the full new year, 2026, as a conclusion to our discussion. What are some of the things you'd like to see happen this year? Maybe personally, maybe professionally. And we can, because I want to talk to you again. So we're going to check against these things.
Yeah. Professionally with RAD, I want to see UBC being fully self-sufficient. Our adaptive rental equipment is being facilitated by 130 of their rec staff. And it's a program that they're adopting and they're managing the rentals of it. So I want
great.
all of the education materials, all of the marketing materials, and everything to be flowing so that when I check in, they just say, this is the woman that brought us this. And I get to just have an enjoyable interaction with everybody versus doing damage control or being like, this is missing and that's missing. And so the sustainability of that, I want to see. This year, we are coming to a close with our UBC research study about the impacts of adaptive rental equipment. They've been studying the Langford gearbox that we have on West Shore Parkway. And I would like to see for the building, the Accessible Living Plaza building this year, I want to see partnerships. I want to have partners that are invested, that are professional, that have skills in a network that can help assist building this dream, which is off center of what traditional development looks like. I call myself a Scottish golfer because I like 3 clubs and bare feet. And that's how the Scots do it. When the golf course opens up at St. Andrews on Sundays to the public, and you can ride your bikes all over the place, and you can build sand castles in the bunkers. This is what I want to do to shake up the industry of development here, is show up like the Scottish golfer on an American course and be like, we're changing the game. So,
that is fantastic. Well, I can't wait to speak to you again.
Yeah, and then I do consulting work. So I hope that my phone rings and that people see the value in my niche set of skills without having to go and qualify against organizations that have been around much longer that don't have such a fulsome take on design and architecture and recreation.
Tanelle, thank you so very much. You have a wonderful day, and we'll see you for breakfast on Thursday.
Thank you, John and John.
Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day.
John, I'll talk to you soon. Bye, Tanelle. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.